Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. Did not DoorDash yesterday. We had a slight emergency. One of our kitty cats got hurt the night before. Chair fell on him. We thought he broke his leg, so I had to take him to the vet yesterday. Had x-rays done, and good news was that no broken bones or ligaments or anything wrong with his legs, but he was bruised, which was good. That scared the crap out of me. He's okay now. Still, he's a little spooked about hanging around with the chair that fell on him, so which is understandable. So anyway, we continue with the journey, doing a breakfast dash. We'll see what adventures entail. Starting the dash app right now. Let's see here, and we'll see how this day starts out. Hopefully better than the last time. And when I get an order, I'll see you in a minute. Well, I just got my first order before I even got to my favorite parking spot. It's for Bojangles, which is about a little bit further down on the Gauntlet. It's the most further point. It was for over $8, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was about 6 miles. But I'll verify that when I get the next step. So anyway, right off the bat, before I even had a chance to stop and wait, like I said, I was heading towards Starbucks area when I get ready, but I was surprised. So anyway, heading to Bojangles, and we'll see what happens when I get there. So see you in a little bit. Okay, I just picked up the order from Bojangles. I've already contacted the customer that I got their order. It is about 5.5 miles away, so not too bad. It's very rarely that I get an order for Bojangles, because I'm usually on the northern end of the Gauntlet. I have picked up occasionally, like if I'm driving through the Gauntlet, especially during lunch. I have picked up a couple breakfast ones from Bojangles before, but yeah, on my way to the customer. It's out to northern part of town. I know I've been out there many times. There's a lot of nice subdivisions out there. It's also near the lake region, where there's some nice houses out there. So anyway, I'm on the way to the customers, and with the first order of the day, as one movie quote says, the first catch of the day. Wonder if you can figure out which movie that came from. So all right, see you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I just delivered the food. I've been to this house before. It's my third time. Very nice house. It's right on the lake. What makes this, I remember this house very well, is that the people that live here have a very old car in the garage. Very nice. But what's also unique is since they're around the lake, they have their own concrete boat ramp to the lake, which makes it interesting. Very, very convenient. But I just accepted another DoorDash, but this was unique. I'm going to try it. It's a little far. It's a McDonald's order, but it's for $27, but it's 28 miles. I said, wow, for $27, well, hell, that's what I usually make my entire time on breakfast. So I'm going to try this experiment. And so it's a little further, so I don't know if I have to drive to the McDonald's. I've done this before. There's a McDonald's here, but there's also I've been to many McDonald's in the next town and picked up an order and taken it. So anyway, we're going to see how well this goes, and we'll see what happens. All right, see you a little bit. Well, I just now picked up the order from McDonald's. It is the McDonald's in the next town. I've been here a couple times when I've been, through luck or whatever, when I have an order out here and I pick up an order from this McDonald's. But what's strange is about this is I'm going back out to the general area that I was just now, and I don't know how the DoorDash algorithm works, but why did it send me to this McDonald's? Because based from what I'm seeing, there's a McDonald's closer in the town that I live, but it's, you don't know how these algorithms work. Big old truck making a left turn. It's in his way, but this is sending me to the customer, not back on the interstate, but back this way. Kind of similar to that time when I was making the big loop the other day. Kind of similar. So yeah, so this is a very interesting, very unique dash. I'm gonna be honest, this is the first of me. Now, I've been out in this area before, especially when I was first starting DoorDash, and I was taking every order that I can, and I'm recognizing some of the roads that I'm going through, but it's kind of going through the back way, which I'm gonna be honest, I really don't mind, because on the way over here I got to see parts of the area north of the town that I live. Lots of farmland, ponds. It was very nice. You see farmland with a farmhouse right in the middle of the land. So yeah, I enjoy that type of scenery and watching and stuff like that. So anyway, I am off. It's a 14-mile distance from the McDonald's, but this is almost a $28, dash. And I says, yeah, I'm gonna take it. This is something unique, something different. So anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I just delivered that dash, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that was the strangest dash that I have ever had done. For some reason, this dash sent me to a McDonald's in the next town, not the one near where I'm at now, and the delivery was back to the area I was just at from that first DoorDash, which is an area just 5 miles north of the town there where I live. But this dash sent me 20 miles to the next town to pick up a McDonald's order for some reason and bring it back to within a mile of the location I was the first time this morning. But there's a McDonald's just 5 miles away from here. And on top of that, I delivered to a house that I've been to before. This is the second time, and both times it was a child that opened the door. It was always hand delivered. I'm guessing he's homeschooled, because the customer's the name of the customer is a woman's name. But I said that this was the strangest, most out of the way, but I got paid, $28 for it. And that's the highest dash payment for one dash that I ever had so far. So don't know how that worked, or maybe they I don't know how the dash ordering works. Maybe either there's no dash drivers out here, and customer liked that particular McDonald's, or maybe they just picked, a random, on the DoorDash app, ordering site. Oh, I just want something from McDonald's, and then it determines, which McDonald's to go to. And I just happened to be at this area. I mean, I wasn't even 1 mile away from the first house that I delivered on the way back, but it sent me to the next town to go to that McDonald's. Now, granted, that McDonald's is right next to the interstate. So, yeah, this was the strangest, most dash and the most out of the way, roundabout way. But I'm not going to complain. I'm actually back where I started from this morning. I'm heading back to town. In fact, I'm going back through the Gauntlet again from the, starting from the top end. So, no complaints here. So hopefully I get to pick up an order going through the Gauntlet. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, so far, strangest dash shows so far in my career. So anyway, I'll see you in a little bit on the next order. Well, I'm back at my parking area that I usually go to, which is right out Starbucks, waiting for another order to come by. Just want to appreciate everybody who has joined me on this adventure. The first two DoorDashing videos that they haven't been published yet. They're about to be published. That was from my Monday dashing breakfast and lunch. Turned out to be very long, so I had to split them. One video for the breakfast and one for the lunch. I figured the reason why they were extra long is because I had a lot information I wanted to share, especially about door dashing and the hints and tips and stuff like that. So hopefully this one, today's, both lunch and breakfast, won't be as long. But this is all new to me. Still a learning curve. But I will occasionally chime in on some stuff. Got our order. Jack's, $9 for 8.7 miles. So I'm going to take that. So, right, see you in a little bit. All right, picked up the order from Jack's, and I've already informed the customer that I'm on the way. Jack's is very busy. It's always busy, especially during the week morning. Their breakfast is very popular. Jack's is a very popular restaurant here in the Deep South.
Drive north, then turn right.
My wife, she loves they have a breakfast special. It's basically, eggs, grits, a biscuit, and a meat like bacon or sausage. You pick which one you want. I like the same thing, but I get the deluxe version where I get tater tots, and you get white gravy. I like to dip the tater tots in the white gravy, and my wife, she likes the gravy so much she gets extra gravy because she likes she loves the gravy they have here. So anyway, on the way to the customer, heading back out to where I was before in the general direction. So hopefully, when I'm finished with that one, hopefully I get to pick up an order back, going through the Gauntlet again. So anyway, see you in a little bit. Okay, I just delivered food to the customer. I've been to this house this is the fourth time I've been to this house. In fact, a funny story about this. The lady that lives here, the very first time I delivered food here, I was in another town and I picked up an order at a famous local restaurant. And what made me remember this is there was the order, and it took a while to hit, was a hamburger steak on the order is hamburger steak with gravy and onions. But the reason I remember this order was it was a hamburger steak with onions and gravy. Don't include the gravy, don't include the onions, but only put special seasoning on the steak, which is basically just a hamburger. And that just kind of threw me for a loop. And so of course I delivered it. So the second time I came out here, I actually met the lady because I had the order didn't have straws. I keep, just a tidbit for y'all, I keep extra straws. I bought straws from a pack of straws in case I see an order I pick and I don't have straws, so I include some straws on order sometimes. Well, anyway, so I'm sorry, I didn't see any straws in order. I handed it to her. I said, yeah, I've been here before. I said, the reason I remember is from that restaurant. It's just kind of peculiar. You get a hamburger steak with gravy and onions, but hold the gravy, hold the onions, and put special. He said, yeah. She said that was my husband, and so, and I said, and she told me that she does a lot of DoorDash, and sure enough, this is I've only been this now. I think I'm in my 7th or 8th week. This is the 4th time I've been to her house. Very nice lady. Very nice house too. I'm in a very nice neighborhood, so I've been here many times. So every time I come in here, and of course I don't see the exact address because I'm just following the map. But then when I see the address, okay, yep, that lady. So yeah, it's just funny little stories like that. You kind of and tend to remember things like that, and you share this story with the customer, and there's a little camaraderie. So anyway, I am now heading back towards the north end of that Gauntlet, and I'll drive through it. Hopefully I'll pick up another order. If not, I'll park in my normal spot. And so anyway, hoped on my way through the Gauntlet, and hope to see you in a minute. Well, a quick stop at McDonald's. Use the restroom real quick and hopefully pick up an order. Sure enough, I got one for Huddle House, which is right across the street from McDonald's. And actually, I forgot to look at what the order was. Let's see. I'll figure it out here in a minute. But I don't think it's too far away. So, all right, here at Huddle, like I said, it's right across the street. So, all right, I'm here. See you in a little bit. Okay, I picked up the order from Huddle House. It's not very far. It's only 2.5 miles. I think it's to an apartment complex that I'm very familiar with. I've been there many times. This is going to be it's 8:44. Most likely this will be my last dash for the breakfast run. And then what I'll do is I'll go home, take a break for a little bit, a couple hours, have an early lunch. Excuse me. And then I'll start my lunch dash. I do 11 to 3. I will say this, it's a lot cooler today. It's only 78 right now according to the car. It's been overcast, and I think we'll be getting some rain later this week, I think. But no complaints from here, because it's been hot. So yeah, this overcast has really made it pleasant to do DoorDashing today. Still warm enough. I'm still warm, to wear shorts, and but yeah, it's been very pleasant today. So anyway, on my way to the customer, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, just delivered the Huddle House delivery. I realized that it was just a little over $6, 2.5 mile distance. So, and it's to an apartment complex that I'm very familiar with. Met the customer, very nice lady. Commented that the weather today has been a lot nicer, like I mentioned before. It's been so hot, in the upper 90s this, for a while now. This is the first time it's been in this mid 70s in a very long time now, but it's going, according to this, it's going starting to hit 80, but still, still overcast. But of course, the clouds go away, probably getting warmer towards lunchtime. So I got 7 minutes left on my scheduled run here, and what I'm going to do, I'm now, like I said, I'm on the far north end of the Gauntlet, so I'm going to keep the app up and running. I'm going to drive through to head back to the house, and let's see if I get lucky like I did yesterday, and pick up an order at the last minute before I end my session. So if not, I'll come back and give a brief summary of what I did this morning. So, all right, see you in a little bit. Well, I'm back home. I didn't get lucky. I did not pick up an order as I was driving through the Gauntlet and come home, but I'm going to stop for now. I've ended my breakfast dash run and going to take a break for a couple of hours and pick up at 11 o'clock. But the summary, I think this is my best breakfast run I've had so far. 4 orders for a total of $51.89. I think that's a record for me. Of course, half of that was that one order that sent me all the way to the next town and back. So not gonna complain. But yeah, very good start for the day. Hopefully this will continue for my lunch dash. So anyway, gonna go inside, take a break, and we'll see you at the start of the lunch. All right, thanks. Well, welcome back. Getting ready to start my lunch dash. Had a nice little break. Had some microwave noodles. Actually, it was Vietnamese pho or pho. I remember first time I tried it, it was not too bad. Already got the app started. I'm gonna head to my normal parking spot, hopefully to get an order here soon. So let's see what happens today. Still a little cooler, according to the car. It's now 86. It's gotten a little warmer, but it's overcast, and so the sun's not coming down, and heating everything. So anyway, all right, let's continue on and see what happens today. Well, as I was driving to my starting parking spot, got an order from Starbucks for $14 with 11 miles. So I took it. So that's interesting to have a Starbucks order. It's not that too interesting, but usually you think it's about just lunch specials. But I have picked up Starbucks, the big orders like several drinks, and usually a lot of times it's to a group of people. I've taken quite a few orders like that to hospitals, like the nurse groups and especially emergency rooms. Of course, Starbucks does have some food, pastries and all that. In fact, they do. In fact, I had a couple, one order, I think I remember in the previous video, it was 2 breakfast sandwiches. It was bacon and eggs. So they do have a small grill. So anyway, heading towards Starbucks for the first lunch dash. So see you in a bit. Okay, just picked up the order, and in fact, just informed the customer I have their order and I'm on my way, and I just got a text back from them thanking me, letting them know. And what was nice about this, I walked in and the order was ready. I like that. Hate wasting time, especially on average 10 minutes waiting for an order. I don't know if that's an issue with the DoorDash app. One thing, if you use the DoorDash app, as you arrive, there's a little section that you can click on to inform DoorDash, if the order is not ready right away, what is the issue that's causing it. And they have several categories. One was, was not starting till you got there, or order was still in process when you got there, or very busy. It had like 5 or 6 different ones. So I try to use it, especially if I'm waiting for the order. The DoorDash app has a pre-assigned responses for the very first message to a customer saying, I'm waiting on your order, or it just arrived. And so I use that, but then I tell DoorDash through their apps, hey, I got here, and I tell them I'm waiting on, either I select either order was still in process, or order wasn't started, or I didn't get no help. That's one of the other options. So I guess it's to help the algorithm in DoorDash, so they can estimate, when the order goes in, and hopefully they can figure out, well, by the time an order gets in, how many minutes, it takes on average for the order to complete, and then send the message to the driver. So at least I hope that's what they do. So anyhow, sitting here waiting on the red light and getting ready to head to the customer. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I just dropped off that order. Very nice young lady. Kind of jealous that the house is on the lake. But the getting here looked a little strange because the road is not completely paved. It's it's one of those roads where they start off with gravel and then they put a little bit of asphalt, but then it's real rough. As you can see as I'm driving, a lot of patches of asphalt everywhere. But yeah, but one little corner at the end of the road. A couple of houses are right there on the lake. So yeah. All right. So we had our first dash for lunch. Not too bad. I'm now heading towards the northern end of the Gauntlet. So hopefully I get to pick up an order as I'm going through the Gauntlet before I get to my normal stopping point where I normally wait for an order. So, all right, let's see what happens. See you in a little bit. Well, I just got an order. Unfortunately, I drove through the entire Gauntlet. Didn't get to pick up anything, and just as I stopped at my normal waiting area, picked up an order from Cracker Barrel.
Drive northeast, then turn right.
And just a little over $6 for 2 miles. And so, yeah, I'm going to take that. So, and luckily, Cracker Barrel's just right over there. That's the convenience of, finding if you can find like a waiting area that's a cluster near a lot of the restaurants, especially in this area, the bigger restaurants, or the ones I think to me I think they pay a little bit more. So anyhow, now I'm getting ready to pull into the Cracker Barrel parking lot and pick up this order and see where we're going. So see you in a little bit. Okay, got the order from Cracker Barrel. I've already informed the customer that I'm on my way. Looks like I don't have to get on the interstate. I'm going to go the back road, and it looks like it's to an apartment complex. Car backing up here. So anyway, not too bad. Didn't have to wait too long. There have been times where I've, like I said before in my strategy, if I go to a stopping area and I'm sitting there 15 minutes on, I just start back up and I start moving to another area. 9 times out of 10, as soon as I start moving, I pick up an order. So anyhow, traffic's a little heavier today now. So all right, I'll be back as soon as I deliver the food. Well, I just dropped off the order. I've delivered to this person before. And surprise, surprise, they gave me a $5 tip. Always pleasant. And on the app, even though when you complete the order, there's a certain part of the area where you can go back and look at the last completed order, and you click on the customer's name and you can see the message center, and you can text them one more time. So every time I get a tip like that, I text them one more time to basically thank them. So I said thank you, and just be courteous, and hopefully next time, he remembers me and I'll get another tip. So anyway, that was a very pleasant surprise. I am now heading back to my normal waiting area, which is near that Cracker Barrel. And yeah, 2 orders in, and not too bad. Now I got a tip. So far, off to a good start. Knock on wood. So anyway, heading back to my waiting area, and I'll come back when I get another order. All right, see you later. And just like that, not even a minute after I stopped on that last order, heading back to my waiting area, picked up an order from Jersey Mike's, around $6, just a little over maybe 3 miles. So I took it. So now I'm gonna head that way. Yeah, things so far so good. Getting the orders, snap, snap, snap like that. That's what I like to see. So anyhow, like I said, I'll be back as soon as I pick up the order. Okay, got the order. What I liked, it was already there waiting for me to pick up. I like that. No waste of time. And I've already informed the customer that I'm on my way. Not too far away. And heading there now, so I will be back as soon as I deliver the food. All right, I'm back. I just delivered that order to a nice lady in a business. I think her co-workers are jealous because they said, "Did you bring enough for everybody?" I said, "No," but I told them what they were cooking in Jersey Mike sure smelled good. And while I was in there, the next order popped up. So, and it's to a taco place, a homegrown Mexican place. Just taco. It's a small little hut of a place, and it's just right over there. I've picked up several orders there before, and it's authentic Mexican food. So it's very convenient just to be able to go to the next stop right over here. So I have to look it up how much that is and all that. But if not, I'll post a display here what the amount is and the linkage and the mileage here. So I'm right here. Boy, they got a bunch of construction workers got their vehicles in there parked. So it's very very popular. And they also have like a taco truck. And it's called Let's Go Tacos. And so anyway, so all right, I'm going to pick up the order and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, got that order. They were packed, the whole work crew's in there, and it's a small little building, and plus these guys' taco truck right there, and every table they only have 3 tables in there, and every table was taken up. But God, you go in there and smell it. It smells good. And based on what he gives you plenty of food. But all right, I've already informed the customer that I'm on my way, and we'll pick this up as soon as I deliver the food. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay, I just delivered that. That order was actually just a little over $7 for a 3-mile trip. I've been to this house before. It's kind of unique. It's right on the lake, but this person's driveway is right next to another person's driveway. I try not to get into his neighbor's driveway, but it's down a steep hill, so I don't park down there because there's no way to turn around, and so it's a little tight here because he's got his garbage cans here. connected back on the dash. Yeah, unique house, right on lake. You know, he's got a boathouse right behind his house, and I mean, it's just darkness. So, like I said, where I live, we're right next to a lake river system. So there's a lot of properties out here on lakes. You know, I told my wife, asked her if she ever want to live on the lake shore. She says no, too snaky. She's deathly afraid of snakes. But funny story. Well, not funny story. When we were renovating the house that we're living in now, we had a lot of work to do in the garage area. The sheetrock was all molded, and you know, it looked like it had some water damage. And, so we were in there, and I was in there just doing some work, and I come out of the house into the garage, and lo and behold, there's a rat snake in the garage. And so I try to shoo it out, but then he decides to go into this little hole inside the wall and disappears into the house, in the wall of the house in the garage. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then, so, you know, about 4 months later, actually a little bit longer than that, the house was finished, and wife's in the kitchen, and I'm upstairs in my office, and lo and behold, I heard a bloody scream. And there was a rat snake in the kitchen. Now, my wife, when she first saw it, I thought she was mad because she thought I was playing a joke on her. But no, when you're deathly ill or deathly afraid of something, I don't joke around with that. So it was pretty big. It was 4 foot long, 5 foot long. Unfortunately, I had to kill it. So I killed it and thrown it. And discovered where it came from. We have a bonus room above the garage. That the entrance to that bonus room is off to the kitchen, and it's got some stairs going up. But that bonus room has a small little door that gets you access to the rest of the attic that's above the garage. And sure enough, I put a trap up there for him, but sure enough, I found that the trap had moved, and there's enough room down there for a snake to crawl under that little door. So I plugged up the door with some boards. So, and never, haven't seen a snake in the main level. And then here, just recently, I was in the basement. That's where my man cave is. I was working. I do plastic model kits. I was working on a model, and I turned around. Another rat snake, but he was down there in the basement, so unfortunately I had to kill him too. We do have one that's outside the house. My wife doesn't care about him. As long as he's outside, that's fine. So I've had to go around when we were working on the house. I had to go around and find all the holes in the house and plug it up with that spray foam, the expanding foam. So anyhow, that's the trials and tribulations of living in the middle of the woods. Our house is kind of off the road. I've got a 650-foot driveway, and the main reason why we got this house, one, because we needed a bigger room, because the house we were in was the house I originally bought before I got married, and it was too small. It's just a small little, typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the middle of a subdivision. This is when they were crapping houses left and right in these subdivisions right next to each other, and they all looked the same. And that was in 2005 actually. But it was just too small for her, and the garage is full of junk and all ours for storage. So we're getting close to retirement, which I am getting ready to now. Needed a house to call our own to retire, and we liked it because on the main level house is everything. My wife's handicapped. Bedroom, the 3 bathrooms, and the kitchen, living room, and office for her. It's actually like a library. It's got built-in bookshelves, all on the main level, and she loved it. So that's what we did. So, oh, guess where I'm going back to? Just got an order. Going back to Let's Go Tacos for $7.
Drive west on Cogswell Avenue.
And for the distance about 2.5 miles. So, all right, back to that same restaurant. So things are doing pretty well. All right, so I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, just picked up the order, back to back. This is, like I said, it's a small place, and then a whole nother crew of people showed up. Like I said, they only got like 3 tables. But you walk in there, god darn, it smells good in there. And he just cooks on like small little grills, frying pans on grills, and boy, but it smells so good. And plus he's got his food truck right there. So yeah, now I'm on my way to the customer. I think they live in an apartment complex, so, and it was a good surprise. And also the last time I was here, you know, a few days back, you know, the DoorDash app asked me to take a picture of the door to see if they're displaying the DoorDash app sign, and they were not. So I went there and I talked to one of the workers in there and said, hey, you know, how come? And they've been like doing DoorDash for a year, and I said, well, the DoorDash app is telling me, you know, to take a picture, but you don't have a DoorDash sign out there. Well, now they have a DoorDash sign, so so you know, it makes me happy. So look at this already. I got back-to-back orders from that place. So anyway, heading to the customer. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, just delivered the food. It's the healthcare center. You know, the what we call Dock in a Box, but this was a bigger facility. In fact, they got like 5 buildings here, all for different. You know, there's primary care and there's vision. It's like the complete health company. They have diagnostic imaging and stuff like there. So I went to the main building. I think that's where the vision center is, and they have a lab down there. So it's all kind of a bigger version of Dock in a Box. So yeah, met a nice young lady. She met me at the door. I told her, man, this is my second order trip from that taco place. And she says, yeah, I never had that food before. I heard it was good. So and I told her, based on what I'm smelling every time it smells good. So all right, so on to the next place. I think this time I'm going to go head over to McDonald's and wait there and see what happens. See if I can pick up some quick orders. It's getting towards almost 1 o'clock here, and we'll see what happens to see if my strategy works. So, all right, I'll be back as soon as I get another order. Well, I'm back. I'm in the McDonald's parking lot. It's starting to get warm now. It's not overcast anymore. But I just declined my first order in a while. It's to a restaurant that recently moved. It used to be further out, you know, past the Gauntlet. It's a barbecue place, and I remember they recently moved closer into the city. But that order came up. It was for $6.99, but it was 14 miles out. And I said, no, I'm not taking that. We'll let somebody else take that. But no, you know, I almost took it because I wanted to see where their new location is, but I'm not doing you know, barely just over $6 for close to 13-14 miles. So anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go the hotspot. I'm going to go back to my regular spot because according to this app, the hotspot's a little bit bigger out there. But you know, I'm in right now. McDonald's is in the middle of that Gauntlet I told you about. So anyway, so I'm gonna head over to my first spot and see if I can get an order. If not, I'll make the rounds and come back this way. So I will see you in a bit. Well, I just picked up an order at Subway. I had to make a turnaround here because I'm in the wrong position. But it was like $4, but it was 0.7 miles. So yeah, I'll take that. But I'm gonna make myself turn around. You can get back in there. In fact, it was at the Subway is right next to the McDonald's, and I was just there, and I just left. In fact, the timing on this thing says, you know, I was in the wrong direction, pointing in the wrong direction. It says, and it has a color code on the time. You know, if it's red, that means you're way behind. But now that I've got myself turned around, the time changed to 2 minutes and then green. So, all right, let's get back on the road here. And I've been to that Subway a few times. So, all right, head into the Subway and pick up the order and go 0.7 miles. Okay, I got the Subway order, and the delivery instructions are strange. It's never happened before. I'm supposed to deliver the food through the CVS drive-thru. So, now CVS closes their drive-thru at a certain time, so it may be closed, but I go through and deliver food. But that's the first for me. In fact, I gotta go back later this afternoon after I'm running this dash and go pick up medicine for myself and for my wife. I also gotta go by Walmart and pick up medicine. Yeah, when you get old, you know, your wife and I, you know, we're walking pharmacies. You know, we're doing a million medicines that we gotta take. So anyway, CVS is just right over, and that's where the 0.7 miles come from. It's just right over there. So anyway, I'll be back as soon as I deliver the food. Alright, just delivered the Subway. I did not go through the drive-thru because when I got there were 4 cars on mine, so I walked in. It turned out to be the customer was the pharmacist. He fully understood why I came inside. And as I was talking, just picked up another order to a place I've never been to before. It's a pizza place. Man, and all the excitement, I forgot what the amount, but it was the dollar amount was above the mileage. So later on, I will look at it and put text down below what the dash amount was and all that. But yeah, it's a pizza place. Like I said, never been for Papa Corzone's quesadillas. Never been there before. So it's going to be interesting. So, all right, I'll be back as soon as I get the order. All right, I'm back. Well, I thought I had the strangest dash this morning. This one beats that one. That Papa Quesos, whatever, quesadillas or whatever, I couldn't find it. I never heard of that before. And then I couldn't find it. And then in the app, down there in the bottom of the, you know, you must go to Huddle House and go in there and ask for it. And I said, why not just tell me to go to the Huddle House? Well, it seems to be, it must be some kind of special, you know, secret menu thing that only certain people know. So that's why. So it confused the hell out of me. So next time I run into something that I don't know, or I look at the description, look for the description, you know. But why tell me a place and if it's a special order, put in parentheses or something like that. You know, inside Huddle House. So I've informed the customer that I'm on the way, a little bit further out. But yeah, that one is a new one for me. If you're a DoorDasher, has that ever happened to you? You know, that there's a secret menu item that they listed under a different name. And I talked to the waitress, and she mentions about it's certain food that either the workers can order, only the workers can order. Anyway, I don't know what I just didn't understand the explanation. So anyway, I'm heading out to the customer, and I'll be back as soon as I deliver it. Okay, I just delivered that order. Just over $9, 7 miles. Like I said, that was a new one for me. Special menu that nobody knows about, under a name at a Holiday House that nobody knows about. At least I didn't. If you're a DoorDasher, have you ever encountered anything like that? Please leave a comment. Anyhow, heading back. I'm going to be tackling the Gauntlet again. Hopefully I'll get to pick up something. I've got about an hour and a half before the end of my session. So it's been a pretty decent run so far. It slowed down a little bit because it's already, it's 1:30 here now. And I'm in familiar territory out here, so hopefully I'll be getting to access, get something here real quick on the Gauntlet run. So anyway, I will be back as soon as I get an order.
Drive east on 231 Circle.
Well, I just picked up an order. Part of the Gauntlet is to a Chinese place. I'm turning around and make my way back to it. I've been there many times before. Small little Chinese place, takeout, in one of the strip malls here in the city. There's 2 or 3 of those here. And my wife and I went to a Japanese place, but it's a formal restaurant. It's got several tables and stuff. And they do DoorDash, and I went in there and I saw they do a lot of hibachi, and so we went in there this past weekend, and it was really good. She loved the egg drop soup. In fact, I had to go back the next day and order more egg drop soup for her. So yeah, made it halfway through the Gauntlet and picked up an order. So I am now on my way to pick it up. So we'll see you there. Okay, I've got the order. Well, I forgot how much it was, but it's more than a mileage. The mileage is only 2 miles. And I've been to the place's apartment complex over there, and I just told the customer I'm on my way, and I got to thank you. So yeah, it's getting warm now. It's 92 outside according to the car. I may stop by the house real quick and pick up another Gatorade. I didn't think I needed it because I thought it was going to be a little cooler today, but unfortunately I was wrong. So anyhow, so now go to the customer and deliver this order, and I'll see you in a little bit. I just did that drop off to the customer. Fortunately, the app messed up on me a little bit. First of all, and this has happened before, I know, that's why I've delivered to this customer before, and the app put me on a road that does not have access. This is the apartment of this complex is in the back end of it, so it thinks that you get access to a road over there, but there is no access to this area from that road. So I knew about that. But then when I delivered it, like I said, I don't know why it happened this time, but it wouldn't let me complete because it thinks, I told you if you're not in the delivery zone, it won't take it. So I had to tell I need help, and I said the app wouldn't allow me, so I had to I took a picture of the building, showed that I was here, and I talked to the customer through their Ring doorbell. Confused me because I kept hearing music. I thought it was my phone, but it was the music she had in there. So she thanked me, and so I delivered it, and I finally got it, the app, to say, hey, I confirmed that the drop off. So that's strange why it failed this time, but it worked the last time. So anyway, all right, based on the time, I got an hour to go. So I'm gonna go. I'm thinking about either stop by a store or go by the house and get me something to drink, because I've already drank all my Gatorade, and it's getting hotter. It's now 93, 94 outside, according to the car. And didn't think it was, like I said, I can't wait, for for true fall weather. But we're here in the deep south, and summer hangs on as long as it can. And already the trees around my house have already turned, and I'm getting flooded with fallen leaves. So anyhow, all right, so I'll come back when I get another order. Until then, talk to you later. Alright, I've been sitting in my parking spot area, I've been waiting, and I finally got an order for Chick-fil-A for a little over $6 for about 2.5 miles. So of course I took it, and now I'm heading over there. Like I said, I also stopped by and got a gas station and got me another Gatorade and a candy bar. It's getting a little something to boost me up a little bit. It's hot. Oh my god, it's hot. It's getting hotter now. So, all right, heading over to Chick-fil-A and pick up the order. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, just picked up the order from Chick-fil-A. In fact, I looked at the long paragraph of delivery instructions from the customer. Seems they've been having problems in the past having people delivered. Also part of the app, when you deliver, what helps a lot is, a lot of times you're supposed to take a photo well, 9 times out of 10 they already have a picture already. It shows you a picture of where the delivery is, shows you the door and all that from previous deliveries, and that helps a lot. That's helped me, like when I went there, especially if there's a lot of houses close together, look at the delivery photo from the previous delivery or something, and you can see what the door looks like. So it's that house. So that's helped a lot. So anyhow, yeah, let's see which way we're going. Okay, I know exactly where that is. It's in that nice neighborhood near the Burger King or further up here. So I've been there before, so hopefully this will be an easy delivery. So anyway, I got 35 more minutes left. Hopefully after this, maybe I can get 1 or 2 more orders. So anyway, on to the customer, and I'll see you here in a little bit. Okay, just delivered that. Easy to get to. I can understand their instructions. Their house has a fire hydrant on it, and I think they explained that several people have been probably delivered next door because their houses are real close to each other here. See a lot, since I've been delivering today, I've been seeing Halloween decorations out. The one house over here looked pretty nice. These houses have these little light fixtures on either side of the garage door. So and somebody took plastic jack-o'-lanterns and put it over the light fixtures on either side with a witch's hat on top of the jack-o'-lantern. It looks pretty cool. I bet you it looks really cool at night when they lit up. So yeah, been to a couple places where they have the big decoration, like the trend is those huge 20-foot whatever skeletons and all that. I was like, they're like $400 like at Home Depot. But one of the houses I went to had the big giant skeleton dog. It was unique. So, but yeah, people getting ready for Halloween. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's the one thing we do not miss. In the previous house that my wife and I were in, we lived in a subdivision, and that subdivision was, very nice. It had sidewalks, it's flat, and every Halloween we were the destination place for the whole town that we were living in. In fact, it got so bad that we had to have police direct traffic into our subdivision out. We spent, oh my God, on average at the time, it was like $500-$600 worth of candy. And I told my wife, no, if we're gonna buy stuff, we can just buy candy, no chocolate. And whatever chocolate we did get, I got. And she keeps saying, well, you're denying those children, chocolate. Look, they can have hard candy and all that, because we would have on average every Halloween night 700 to 800 kids. I mean, it's like they come in like troopers, on armored vehicles, they just unload kids, and they spread out. But then, like I said, the whole neighborhood just bring their kids, because it's nice. We had a lot of houses in our neighborhood, and it's flat. It's easy to walk, and with sidewalks, and starting around 5 o'clock, 5:30, the little ones show up first, and they're the cutest ones. The little ones are the cutest ones, and because they have to go out and get their candy first, because they need to go back, by 6 or 7, they're in bed. Then later on, then you get the little older ones with their parents and stuff like that. And then after that, you start getting the teenagers, and then it got to the bad point, when teenagers were just showing up with no costume and all that. So they just want free candy. Has that been with y'all? Any of y'all about Halloween? But now we live in a house that's not part of an HOA. We're all by ourselves in the woods, so we don't have to worry about spending $500-$600 on candy. So anyway, I decided I'm going to, instead of going back to where I was, because it was like a 10-15 minute wait. So I'm going to try my luck over back at the McDonald's and see what happens. I've got 25 minutes left for my session, so hopefully I get to pick up one. And today's offerings were, pretty decent, not too bad. This morning was really good. My best morning I ever had. So anyway, I'm heading to McDonald's. I'm going to sit there for a little bit. Hopefully pick up a quick order either from McDonald's, Taco Bell, or Jack's that's around here in this area. So, all right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, picked up an order while sitting at McDonald's, and it's from that restaurant I told you about that was further on out, and then they moved closer to the city. But the first order they sent to me was $6 and 12 miles away, 14 miles away. I said, no. Well, they sent me another one. It's $6 order, but it's two miles away for the order. I said, yeah, I'll take that one. So now I get to see where their new location is, and it's kind of interesting because I've seen, on the local Facebook page for the area that we live, that they moved, but the new address looked like it's like in the middle of a neighborhood.
Turn right onto 7th Avenue North.
And so, based on what I'm seeing here, it is. So, and like I said, I used to pick up food from at their old location, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this looks. So anyway, I'm on my way to B's Grill, their barbecue sandwiches and stuff like that. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I just picked up the order from B's Grill's new location, which surprised the heck out of me. When I saw the original, when they moved to, it looked like, on Google, like it's a neighborhood. Well, it's right on the edge of the neighborhood, but the building is old restaurant, local restaurant that people talk to the owners that they've always been a restaurant there over the years and all that. So, and they're happy because they live across the street from where they moved to the restaurant. So yeah, they have barbecue sandwiches and stuff like that. And based on what I saw on the Facebook post, they're very popular. And I talked to them very friendly. I said, yeah, I remember I picked up orders from your old location. Then I saw on Facebook that you moved and all that. So they were very pleased, very happy and appreciative. So got the order. Based on my time, this is most likely my last order for the day. I'm going to take this, and then I gotta run some errands afterwards for pick up medicine for me and my wife. So yeah, it's 2 miles away. 10 minutes left. We'll see. Never, things can always happen. I remember, was it the other day I picked up that Chick-fil-A catering order 1 minute before my session ended. So you never know. So anyway, I'll be back as soon as I deliver the food. Okay, just delivered that. That's a little over $6, and it was only 3 miles. Got 2 minutes left on my dash session. I'm gonna work my way home because I'm gonna go home first, change clothes, and I just picked up, order a couple things to help me with the setup in here. I got me a remote control so I can start and stop the camera with a remote control instead of having to constantly reach for it. And also I bought an external microphone because I noticed when I listen to the videos, the road noise gets a little bad. But on the videos that are going to YouTube, I think that a lot of it gets eliminated. But what's helping? So I got scheduled two videos from my previous DoorDash, which was Monday. And the reason there are two, and they're very long, that's because like I mentioned before, I was long-winded because I was explaining a lot about DoorDashing and and some tips and tricks and stuff like that. Today was a little bit more quote-unquote mundane as far as actually dashing, with a little insight and a few stories to tell. So I'm hoping this winds up being, for today, one video. So if that's the case, then I'm gonna go home, get that equipment changed, and then run some errands, pick up medicine for me and my wife. Gotta give medicine to our kitty cat that got injured. Yep, officially done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head to the house and give today's summary of total of this morning and today, and a running total of for the past 2 days. To kind of give you some idea of what's going on. So in the meantime, all right, be back with you in a minute as soon as I get home. All right, bye. Okay, I am now home. It's the end of the day for me, and did pretty well. Did almost $100 today. This morning I did. I take that back. I did do over $100. This morning I had $51.89, which was my best morning I ever had. And then this afternoon, I hit $81.04. So that's definitely over $100. So my running total for 2 days of dashing is $227.44. So since I didn't dash yesterday because our kitty cat, I'll dash tomorrow and Friday, barring any other issues. So anyway, I appreciate you coming with me today. I encourage you to, if you enjoyed the video, to give it a like, and if you like the channel or you're interested, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the little bell to get notified when more videos are coming up. Like I said, I think tonight I have 2 videos from my first day I mentioned before are going to go up. So we'll see how this works, and please leave a comment for if you have any suggestions, or you want to see more stuff, or see some different or more explanation about what I do. Leave a comment, and I'll read them, and if I can, reply to them. So anyway, thank you again for coming with me, and I will see you at the next dash. All right, have a good night. All right, bye.